There is an anxious wait this morning for residents and staff at a Melbourne aged care facility after a mystery COVID case forced the home into lockdown. Contact tracers are still trying to establish just how a staff member at the Arcare home in Maidstone in the city's west picked up the virus. It was one of 5 locally acquired cases announced yesterday, but it is not yet linked to the existing outbreak.
Residents and staff were tested yesterday and it's hoped results will be available later this morning. It's thrown the timeline of Victoria's 7-day circuit breaker lockdown into question. Lots to cover, so let's go straight to Stephanie Ferrier in Maidstone for us. Good morning to you, Steph. So the contact tracers are still trying to determine how this particular staff member at the facility actually contracted the virus.
Good morning, Lisa. Yes, that is the real mystery, and that is what has authorities so concerned. That, coupled with the fact that these residents here at Arcare behind me are in such a vulnerable category as well, and we all remember the absolutely devastating impacts of Victoria's deadly second wave last year. Now, Jerome Weimar, who is the state's COVID response commander with the Department of Health, says that it's believed authorities think that this woman aged in her 50s was infectious when she worked here last Wednesday and Thursday, but she had no symptoms at the time. And then as soon as she had some symptoms on Friday, she went and got herself tested. So authorities have praised her for doing exactly that. But of course, that still means that there was that 2-day window where anything could have happened here. And we also know that there are some 110 staff members here and 76 residents, as you say, that are really urgently awaiting those test results this morning. Now, we've heard from the Executive Director of Arcare saying that they do have enough protective equipment and resources to be able to handle this situation here. But of course, it is still very concerning. And Jerome Weimar said as soon as authorities discovered that this woman was positive, they very quickly swung into action.
This particular aged care facility has gone into further lockdown. Residents have been confined to their rooms and isolated immediately. Staff have upgraded now to Tier 3 PPE. I can confirm that this facility has been on the Commonwealth programme for vaccination. Over half of the residents have been vaccinated. We believe about a third of the staff have been vaccinated. This individual positive case member has had one vaccination, has had her first vaccination dose.
And so Jerome Weimar just saying there that, of course, 2/3 of the staff haven't been vaccinated here, which is a real concern for the Australian Nursing and Midwifery Association. They have accused the government of not doing what they promised to roll out the vaccination program and say that many of the staff in aged care centres have basically been left to get the dregs after what everybody else gets vaccinated as this rollout has happened. And that should have all been completed by early April as well. Now, Greg Hunt, the Health Minister, has said that 53 of those 76 residents had agreed to be vaccinated, but of course that still means that some of those weren't vaccinated even though they wanted to be. And so some of the vaccination rollout that was scheduled for next week, understandably, has been fast-tracked.
And meanwhile, we're seeing this list of exposure sites grow. Give us an idea of where people need to be keeping an eye.
Yeah, so we're now seeing more than 270 exposure sites, and the Department of Health contact tracers were adding more sites hour by hour overnight. One of them of a concern is the very large Chadstone shopping centre in Melbourne's southeastern suburbs. There's also bus lines in Craigieburn. There were some 45,000 test results that were received yesterday, and over the weekend we also saw nearly 40,000 vaccinations administered across the state government hub. So at least people are heeding the call. But we are now in the 4th morning of our 4th lockdown here in Victoria, the first morning of remote learning, and many people are still very concerned about this mystery case and what that might mean as to just how long this lockdown will last.
Steph Ferrier, thank you.